Welcome to Forensic Friday.
where we examine the intersection of true crime, psychology, and the heart of being human in the middle of it all. So I had this thought, about what to do today. I was like, I'm just going to drop it on you on the air. But first of all, happy birthday.
Thanks, it's tomorrow.
I know, but still happy birthday.
It's my birthday month.
I just love you so much. I don't usually get on that train, and neither do you.
I
But
know.
this year, we blew it out for my 40th, and we're not going to blow it out for my 40th and not blow it out for your birthday.
Well,
I don't care what age you're turning.
We'll talk about it later, but this birthday is especially special. So
It is. It's a good birthday.
we'll talk about that some other day. But can I just show you these? They're so bad.
Your nails are just wrecked, girl.
I am missing one. I have to get these talons off today.
Oh, so Natalie and I are not typically like nail tip people. Like we're like, do a little dip, do a little shellac, whatever. But this is
Right.
like, we have had big girl nails since the conference, and neither of us are coping well with big nails.
We do well for about 5 days.
Well, and then here's the problem. If I get them, you're going to want them. If you get them, I'm going to want them. And so
Yeah.
I think we both need to go cold turkey. That's the only way this is going to work.
Yeah, but sometimes we're going to get them. So
We'll get them at the same times.
So for like events.
Yeah, and we'll plan ahead for our budget. So if you get it, give me a heads up and I'll budget for it. If I do it, same.
Perfect.
At the same times.
That's perfect.
So the smoke in Colorado is terrible.
Yes.
So Natalie and I have been laughing about voice quality. I have a tea, a coffee, a water. What do you have over there?
I just have my water because I already had my coffee.
There you go.
I have to tell you what I just did for my coffee. So we celebrated my birthday yesterday, quote unquote celebrated, right? As you know, my celebration was getting my husband and my friend to come over to help me with my home office, which is also my she shed.
The she shed. I'm so excited.
So that was my birthday. We did dinner last night. That was the whole thing. But it was so fun yesterday because we got so far on the she shed and I totally lost my train of thought.
Are you just so excited because your she shed is amazing?
Yes.
And then someday I'm getting a she shed and Preston's going to help me with my she shed.
Yes.
This is our whole plan.
I know.
We're just going to be recording for days. That's what we're going to do.
And it's so nice because of the insulation, it's going to have great acoustics, which I'm so excited for.
I'll just come up to your place.
I was going to tell you something else, but I forgot what I was going
to tell. I had something too. What was my thing?
I started a sentence and never finished it. Just
okay, now. Nails, check. We talked about nails. Oh, smoke. So it's super smoky. So our voices have been a little whatever. So we're trying to keep our head voice.
Yes. Okay. I remember. Okay. So for my birthday, my friend Sarah got me like this relaxation kit for my office, which it's funny because I'm like, the fact that you got me that was really fun timing.
Oh yeah, that's so fun.
So she gets me this little kit. It has a diffuser and some like oils, and then it had a lavender syrup because I'm obsessed with the lavender.
Oh, the latte.
Yes, I'm obsessed with anything lavender, like smell, taste, all of it. And then yesterday, my sister-in-law brought over cold coffee and this coconut creamer.
Ooh.
So this morning, I made an iced coffee and I frothed coconut creamer with some lavender syrup.
Oh, did it just blow your mind?
Janine, Preston was like, it's so gross that you like lavender. And I was like, don't judge until you try it. And then he tried it and he was like, crap, that's really good.
Oh, Davina gets me because I'm a just espresso straight up kind of girl, which is very weird. But Davina can get me to girly it up a little bit with like some cold foam, chocolate cold foam, or there's like an almond milk one at Starbucks that's really good. Mostly I just need to onboard the caffeine efficiently. That's what matters most to me. But But Davina's into the coconut creamer. And
Yeah, no, I mean, so I usually use some creamer just because I used to do all black coffee and I like was burning a hole in my stomach.
well,
So
that's not great.
right. So I have to have some creamer now.
Are you
So it's
telling me that's what is to come for me if I keep on my caffeine trajectory?
yeah, if you just drink black coffee. I mean,
I would
people probably
rather
argue with that, but
take antacids and drink my coffee black.
okay.
You know? Yeah, but I should probably pay attention. I'm not young anymore.
So yeah. So so Arliss brought over this coconut creamer that she uses historically, and it's so good in itself. And then it's not coconut milk creamer, it's just the flavored coconut. So it's all crap. Like it's all sugar.
Absolutely. There's nothing real in it.
There's nothing healthy except for maybe the coffee part.
Did you used to do the bulletproof coffee like with the
No.
I never did either, but people swore by that for a while. You stick
It's so
butter
good.
in your coffee?
It's disgusting.
Ugh. Well, I'm glad I asked you about it. Now I will never try it.
I remember I was like, okay, because I was like the whole paleo thing too, right? Like
Oh yeah.
the bulletproof coffee or whatever.
I do nothing but eat bacon for my longevity.
Yes,
That
basically,
was paleo.
which is actually me, but that's not because I'm paleo. It's just because I love bacon.
Yeah, that's great though. At least
But
you know what you're doing.
I know, but with the bulletproof coffee, I was like, okay, I tried it once and I remember I hated it. And then like probably like 6 months later, I was like, maybe I just like maybe it's an acquired taste and I just need to have it again and I might like it. Nope, I
Yeah.
hate it just as much.
Really?
Yep. So gross.
Okay, so we're going to Wicked on Wednesday.
Ah, I know.
I literally had a client walk in while we were trying to navigate tickets,
I had to go get your client.
but I was so excited. We're gonna have a blast at Wicked.
I know.
We're just gonna leave work and go to the theater together. We've never done that.
It's a Wednesday, so
Yeah, we might meet there.
we'll just meet there.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun. I'm so excited.
I
And you know
know.
what? Your people should celebrate you, and they will, because you're
Yeah.
such a great friend.
Thanks. We'll have fun. I
You're
mean,
just the best friend.
obviously I work tomorrow. 36 is no special thing. However, I'm stoked. And tonight we have, husbands, families, dinner, and all the things. So
Well, and you have hit the sister-in-law jackpot. Now, I have hit the sister-in-law jackpot. My sister-in-law is
yes,
the sister-in-law of my dreams.
we both lucked out.
You have that times what, 4?
I have 3 sister-in-laws.
Oh my gosh, and they're all fabulous.
They're all wonderful, every single one of them.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. I know how much I enjoy mine. She makes
I know.
everything better.
Well, and I have my older sister. So, and it's always been fun, but my older sister is quite a bit older than me. She's like 20 years older than me. So I wasn't really raised with her. Her and I
No.
are still very close. I love her.
Oh, she's awesome.
You met her. She's
I met
wonderful.
her. She's awesome.
It's fun having sisters who are more my age now.
And close by. That's
Close.
so
We
fun.
all live super close. My sister, my actual sister lives like 2.5 hours away.
Which is far too long, sister. Too far.
Yes. And she needs to move to Denver. They always come to
Yeah.
Denver anyway. Yeah, you and I both lucked out. Your sister-in-law is also amazing.
Chef's kiss. I
She's
mean, you
so
just can't
sweet.
put her together better.
She always looks put together.
She has made me at least, I mean, I would have to do the math, but 58 to 60% cooler since I met her. Since the day I met her.
My sister-in-laws, they've made me cooler too.
They make me so much cooler. I mean, I'm just so grateful for her on mostly the heart level, but
Yeah,
so like, I mean, we have all upped our game
I know.
with her being around. It's amazing. So shout out to my lovely sister-in-laws and your lovely sister and sister-in-laws.
Yes, they're all wonderful.
And we also have to give the people what they want because everybody wanted merch. We have merch.
I know.
So we have comfort. We love comfort. I'm still wearing comfort. You're still wearing comfort.
Yeah.
But also, if you go to forensicfriday.com/shop, we have like actual Forensic Friday merch and it is good.
You guys, I have this pink sweatshirt.
So
I'm obsessed. And then my friend Sarah and my sister-in-law Arliss came over yesterday and I was wearing it and they were like, oh my gosh, that color is the best color.
it's so I'm getting it from my mom as well
Oh
because
yeah.
I actually made that one with my mom in mind. We've designed all of
Aw.
it, but
Yep.
it's the best quality. We picked the best quality
Yep.
that
Bella
we
and
could
Canvas,
find.
y'all.
Bella and Canvas,
It's
yep.
the best.
So get on there. We have mugs, we have wine glasses, we have
Everything.
sweatshirts, t-shirts, a dog bandana. Can't leave
Love
out the
that.
puppies, you know.
Yes.
So there's that. And then if you are still building your comfort collection, which we obviously still are, uh,
Hmm.
it's comfort.com, comfort.com/forensic15, and you get 15% off anything. And they're also putting stuff on sale, and they're going to drop a fall line in a couple weeks, which I just can't even deal with. So
Oh,
I know it's just going
what
to
are
be
we gonna
magical. I
do
don't
though?
know. My husband is starting to hit the limit. But you know what? I figure
I know that.
I'm just my husband has told you he is
You
hitting
literally,
the
well,
limit.
you tell me, you're like, I just got this thing. And I literally look at you and I'm like, I immediately think of Gare. I'm like, he's gonna be so angry.
If the brand that is me had a baby,
Yes.
okay, it's Forensic Friday and Comfort. I
Well,
literally come home and I can't get in sleep
and big
fast enough.
bags.
And what? Oh, big
Big
bags.
and big bags.
Oh my gosh. I just can't live without a big bag. But you know what? Don't knock the big bag because how many times are we walking to the car and you've got 4 bags and I have one?
Girl, I'm just jealous.
Oh, well, that's fair then. I just need to get you a big
I'll
bag.
full admit it. I will full on admit my jealousy for your
Oh,
big ass tote bag.
this is why I spoil you as well, though. If I,
Uh,
you typically get it.
that's fair.
I have your birthday prezzies on the way. I have one too now.
Uh, you got me and you one for my birthday.
I did. It's like matching packages. I should just wrap one up for me too. We'll open them at the same time.
Let's do it.
Okay, so we have a lot to cover today. So I have a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
I have one. I literally was thinking of you and I was thinking, what does Natalie need? What does she need?
What do I need?
We've been so busy.
I don't even know what I need.
I'm like pulling out my notebook here. You know it's about to get serious. Where's my
I know
wallet?
one of your how many notebooks? 1,000?
I know. You know, I've been called out by clients. They're like, you have a new notebook every week. I'm like, you are not wrong.
You are not wrong.
You are not wrong about that. You are observant. And they laugh. And then I have to explain, they are not the only ones potentially with ADHD because I'm riding around with a different notebook every week.
Yep.
All right, let me pull up my notes here. Okay. So first of all, I don't even know if I like these. Oh yeah, those will work. Okay. Laughing at me today. So what we're going to talk about partially as a birthday gift to Miss Natalie
Okay.
is Lou Pearlman.
Who?
So excited. Lou Pearlman. Are you looking him up? We're going to talk today about the boy band Ponzi scheme. Lou
Mm.
Pearlman managed Backstreet Boys,
Mm-hmm.
NSYNC,
Okay.
O-Town. Where's my list? It's insane. There's a whole list. He did stuff with Britney Spears, LFO,
Oh,
Aaron
wow.
Carter, Take Five, Brooke Hogan, B4-4. It's like B as in boy, 4-4, which I don't remember them at all.
They didn't make it very far.
No. Innocence and a band called Natural.
Okay.
Okay, so here's the thing. I was talking with Garrett about this. Garrett actually sort of gave me this idea because we've dropped how much we love Justin Timberlake or the boy bands or whatever
Yep.
since the beginning of the podcast. So it is time to talk about Lou Pearlman because he's a villain,
Yeah.
but he's a genius. He's a genius villain.
Okay.
Genius. So, there's that saying, there's no such thing as bad publicity,
Yes.
which I would argue that may not be true anymore because, Army Hammer's like selling condos somewhere, timeshares. So
He got canceled.
with cancel culture, I don't know that this is as true as it used to be,
Agreed.
but it used to be do anything to get people to know you.
Yeah, that's not the case anymore.
All we're going to do today is we're going to go through part one, which part one just takes us through who this guy is and how these bands ended up getting constructed right underneath each other's noses.
Mm-hmm.
like the longest competition in history of music, where you have bands actually battling with the same management,
Right.
which is crazy. So this is your jam. I'm watching all the early footage, and
Mm.
I was not a boy band girly,
What?
but I'm hearing all the music from when they really hit it big.
How were you not a boy band girl?
You know,
What did you like?
what did I like? Hip hop.
Okay.
I'm totally nuts. I didn't get into pop music really until maybe college a little bit, but my my friend and I, straight hip hop.
Love that.
Miseducation of Lauryn Hill everywhere we went. And then we liked some of the older pop from when we were growing up, like Mariah Carey, old stuff like that. We would
Yes.
laugh and sing and whatever. I don't think I really got into pop until Christina Aguilera was rebellious. Then I loved
Oh,
her. Like when she made the turn,
when she sang Stronger and
dirty.
Dirty. Okay. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
when she
That's
went like
fun.
nuts, I was like, I'm here for that. Like that makes sense to me. So, and she can actually sing, so I find her
Oh, she's
incredible.
so good.
So I went to the concert when she and Justin Timberlake were like co-headlining. We went to that and it was super fun.
I bet.
But that's when I started. Justin Timberlake was sort of my gateway drug to any of this. But I remember I'm watching these old scenes of like the MTV News,
Mm-hmm.
and it is bringing me back.
So my thoughts so far are that I'm hopefully not going to be super bummed out about any boy band situation.
I think so. I think you're gonna hate Lou Pearlman.
Well, yeah.
Although even I don't know that because at this point he just looks like a little bit of a evil genius, but maybe like a coach mentality that gets the best from his players. That's where we are so far. That typically
Okay.
the bottom falls out of that, but
Okay.
so far we're good.
100%.
For today, I think we're good.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Okay. So as they're kind of getting into this, and I got some of this from a couple of different news articles, and then also there's a documentary on Netflix called Dirty Pop. You're going to be obsessed. Just watch it tonight. Just plan to.
I didn't see it, but I saw it on my Netflix and I have
It
not watched.
is so good and it is so nostalgic.
Okay.
Okay, so basically what happened with Lou Pearlman, he didn't come from money, which I was a little surprised. I thought maybe he was going to be one of these other Ponzi guys where they have money coming up and then they just create weird dependencies with people and they build their empire that way. That's not really this guy.
Okay.
So Lou Pearlman is nothing to look at, really. He looks like just your average Joe. He's like a stocky, normal looking dude, not Rico Suave by any means.
Yeah.
He grew up with his parents in an apartment. His parents actually slept on a pull-out couch for a long time, but over the years, what Lou Pearlman did was con his way the next way forward. But it was evil stuff. So like he forged his best friend's driver's permit.
Oh,
When they were like teenagers. So little paperworky fraudy stuff he would do.
like MRT stuff.
MRT stuff. Like where's my wiggle room?
Right.
And I'm gonna find some kind of advantage, competitive advantage, legal or otherwise.
Yes. Like I was hungry, so I went to the drive-through during group.
Exactly. That kind of thing. That's never happened. But if it did, that would be someone like Lou Pearlman, right?
Uh-huh.
Here's the thing about Lou Pearlman that I can kind of get behind. He builds this company for blimps. He's a blimp guy, which
Okay.
is so weird. So his company is Airship International. Now,
Mhm.
you may be too young for this, but in the 90s, there was like the Mick blimp, like there was a McDonald's blimp, and they would
Oh
bring it
yeah.
out in
Oh
football
yeah.
games and stuff like that. Okay, so
Oh yeah.
he kind of owned a lot of this operation.
Yeah, no, at the Avs games, there's always blimps.
Yes. And so he was like all about this blimp life, okay? And so because of that, that crosses over with entertainment a little bit. And then he had a friend that was killing it in Wall Street. Jerry Rosen was like a childhood friend, became one of his main investors,
Mhm.
and he was killing it on Wall Street and brought his buddies to the table to help fund Airship International and all of this other stuff that he's kind of involved in.
Okay.
The thing that's a little bit funny about that is Jerry and Lou didn't know that the people they were taking money from,
Mm-hmm.
they raised $2 million initially. The people they took money from were tied to the mob.
Oh, it's
They
fun.
didn't even know. which is wild.
Okay.
So one of the things they say from the beginning is this whole thing was built on blood money to a degree.
Yeah.
So we've got all the blimps, we got the Mick blimp, we got all this stuff, right? So before he started transcontinental like management, he created like Transcontinental, which had a bunch of companies underneath it. Before that, he had the airship company. So all of a sudden, and it was kind of a joke, and I remember this like being on the news,
Mm-hmm.
all the blimps crash.
Oh gosh.
They created Jordache blimp, it crashes. Jordache, like the jeans.
Oh.
People are like, y'all should stick to jeans because the blimp, it crashed, right?
Yeah.
The Mick blimp crashed. All these blimps crashed around the same time.
Okay.
Okay.
Weird.
I remember this like loosely in my memory being on the news. Here's the thing. There was insurance on all of those blimps.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was like, oh, blimps aren't safe. I still, as an adult, hold this inherent belief that blimps are not safe and they crash. Well, it's interesting that Lou Pearlman's company was behind all of these blimps. They all crashed within the same amount of time. He collected a bunch of insurance money, and all of a sudden we have boy bands.
Oh my gosh.
Uh-huh. Okay, so thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I remember Blimp World, like how there's just blimps everywhere.
And remember how Nickelodeon then had like it goes so deep. You know how like blimps became kind of a thing with Nickelodeon?
Yes. Yes.
I think this is connected. I haven't found that yet, but like it was
Okay.
like blimps. Blimps were like the thing.
Everything. Yes. But I don't remember the crash.
They all crashed. I still, as an adult, like if you asked me, Janine, what do you think about blimps? I would say they always crash. I don't know why I think that. I think that because of this.
That's so wild.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Okay, so Lou Pearlman's operating his hangars, blimps, he's doing all the things, right?
Yeah.
He gets connected with New Kids on the Block because they wanted to get a plane. And so they were kind of in negotiations, and he starts to realize how much New Kids on the Block made.
Mm-hmm.
I'm too young to be a New Kids fan, so I know you're too young to be a New Kids fan.
I've heard of them, but yeah, I wasn't like into it.
They're like the OG.
Yeah. Yeah,
OG
I
boy
definitely
band.
have heard of them, but yeah, I wasn't. But I probably might have been I wasn't a fan, but I probably heard of them more than you if you weren't a boy band or like a
Mm-hmm.
band type of person.
Well, I knew who they were, and I watched like Full House,
Yeah.
and DJ would go crazy over New Kids.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of knew who they were, that they were a thing, but I never listened to their music really.
Yeah.
So he sees how much money there is to be had. So in 1992, he starts Transcontinental Records. And in 1993, he starts trying to make the Backstreet Boys.
Okay.
So he basically put out an ad, like a
Okay.
newspaper ad.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Because again, we're not interneting all the time. The internet's a thing, but like we're
But
still
it's like
doing
dial
newspaper.
up. It's
Exactly.
dial up internet. Google wasn't around.
You know, the whole dial up,
Yeah.
that's what we're doing.
Google
Yeah.
wasn't around. I don't even remember when Google came out, but you couldn't Google things.
Oh no. I wasn't even AIMing at this point. This is
Yeah.
still, you know, whatever. So he has auditions. The very first person, who do you think is the first Backstreet Boy who got signed?
Okay, hold on. I want to say the obvious one that I would think is obvious, but I feel like it's a trick question. I'm
Who
gonna
do you
say
think?
I'm gonna say either Brian or Kevin.
Ooh, okay, I can see why you
Uh-huh.
would think that
Uh-huh.
because they're cousins also, right?
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, girl, I have so much for you. This is my present to you.
We're
Did
gonna
you
have a
care about these
two-parter.
people? Oh, it's a two-parter for sure.
Oh
This is
my
for
gosh.
sure a two-parter. I already
Okay.
know when I'm going to stop.
Okay.
Okay, so Lou has auditions. All these guys, these kids, right? Real cute kids who can sing a bit.
Hmm.
They show up and he's in Orlando. So he's not in LA. He's
Hmm.
not in New York. He's in Orlando, which is
Right.
important throughout the story because it's a kind
Okay.
of an isolated place.
Okay.
Okay. AJ is the first.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Okay. Then Howie. Then Nick, who was 12 years old, by the way.
Oh my
12,
gosh.
which is wild. It's brain
Yeah.
breaking actually to see him that little.
Yes.
He's littler than his brother was when his brother came on the scene. I know,
Ew.
he's just a little 12-year-old. Kevin then joined.
Okay.
Kevin was doing tours at Disney at that point. He'd be the guy on like the train at Disney World who's like, and on the right, you can see blah, blah, blah. That was Kevin. Okay.
Okay.
And then he called his cousin Brian. So Brian was actually
The last.
the last. He was the fifth voice. That's
Mm-hmm.
Brian. And they said that when Brian came on, it like completed the group. That was like the voice that they needed that completed the group.
Well, then because he became the main guy.
He became the main guy. He breaks my heart because his voice, I don't know if you've seen like the more recent documentary about them.
Mm-mm.
His voice is all screwed up.
Mm.
And you know how sad that makes me because of my airway stuff. I know what it's like to have your voice change. It
Mm-hmm.
sucks. But anyway,
Mm-hmm.
he was the final voice. So now they got a group. They signed on April 20th, 1993.
Oh,
1993. So think back. I mean, this is well before they like fly out on the scene.
yeah.
Okay. So they're signed with Lou. They call Lou Big Papa. Like he's
Oh my
very
gosh.
important to them though. And Kevin, I didn't know this. Kevin had lost his father. So he
Mm.
became almost a surrogate father to Kevin,
Okay.
very close with Brian. He was closer to some than others.
Yeah.
So Lou has all this money. He gets vocal coaches, choreographers. He gets $1 million tour bus, and he starts just touring all over the country.
Okay.
They tag in Johnny and Donna Wright as managers. They had worked with New Kids, and they're singing. They're singing everywhere. They're singing at malls. They're doing, because you used to hang out at the mall. This is way less of a thing now.
Right.
But I grew up hanging out at the mall. You go hang out for 5 or 6
Right.
hours at the mall.
Same.
You just walk around. People do that
So
less now,
weird.
but that was the thing. I know it's weird. Kids now would be like, "Why would you?" I mean,
I
Amazon.
know. That's like all we did.
We're gonna play Minecraft, and we're gonna order Amazon. Like that's
Yeah.
all that they. And it's so sad. Like you walk around the mall and you check everybody out. Yeah, that's the whole thing.
I know.
Our
You go
kids,
into
they're getting
Winston
old.
and you go into Limited Too and all the things.
Exactly. Okay, so 1994, they're on their mall tour. Transcontinental's really become not only like the recording company, but there's a bunch of companies under that too.
Mm-hmm.
And this woman, Melissa Moylan, and I can tell she's going to be a bigger part of the story going forward because I'm still
Okay.
researching the second half a little bit more. She comes on and she's the artist rep. So they come out with some music, but the
Mm-hmm.
people on the radio are Snoop, Dre, Nirvana.
Oh yeah.
Right? Okay, so there's no boy band sound right now out
Right.
at all. That's just not a thing.
Right.
Okay, so he sets up almost like the original garage band. Like literally, the Backstreet Boys would be in these big hangars,
Oh my
right?
gosh.
The blimp gondola hangars in Orlando. No air conditioning, like a crazy setup. The wood's not even sanded down. Like they're getting
What?
splinters. Yes. And they would rehearse and rehearse and rehearse and rehearse
That's
over and over and over
right.
again. And Lou would take these kids out. And, when he had his investor meetings, his whatever, this was the band, man. The band would come out and they would sing and he'd get more investors,
Mm-hmm.
right? So that's what he's doing for a while. More and more people are investing. 1995 comes around. So remember they signed in 93. So by 95, they released the song We Got It Going On.
Okay.
You know that song?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It peaked in the 60s on the US charts.
Oh wow.
That's it. And it dropped right off like the next week.
Okay.
Not a big deal. It
Uh,
barely made a splash.
yeah.
Germany, obsessed. Germany, the wonderful people who gave us the Hasselhoff,
Yeah.
they were obsessed. Obsessed
That's
with
awesome.
Backstreet Boys. And then also Europe.
Okay. I'm not surprised.
Europe loves them, right? They can do no wrong. So
Yeah. Oh,
basically,
yeah.
they sign with BMG recording company. They finally get their deal. And they're in Germany and they're all over Europe and they're just performing all the time.
And what year was this?
This was like 95-ish.
Okay.
95-ish. I'm middle school. You're even littler than that, right?
Yeah. I was 7.
Lou says, and I quote, if you've created Coke, someone else is going to create Pepsi. It might as well be me and get ahead of it. He knew if I create one boy band, someone else is going to create another boy band and one of them's going to win. He's like, why would I not own both of them? Genius.
Why not?
Also, side note, when they first start introducing the NSYNC members, they go into one bedroom. I think it's JT's bedroom.
Oh my gosh.
Justin Timberlake. And the irony, he's like little baby Timberlake. There's a picture of Janet Jackson with her shirt like cut up to here, and you can like see her bra. And I'm like, oh, if this wasn't the universe being so weird, It's
like this situation will happen later.
Manifestation. I don't know. I don't believe in manifestation, but if I did.
So funny.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Okay. So take a breath because we're starting to bring in NSYNC now.
Okay.
So Backstreet Boys is in Europe, away from their families, performing like crazy. Everybody loves them in Europe. Nothing's really happening here, but they're getting better and better, right? Because they're performing all the time. They're hanging out as a group. Now, Lou on the side, and it was a secret, starts developing NSYNC. And the management is under strict orders to keep this very, very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So then I'm like, oh, Backstreet Boys is like working their tail off, making no money over in Europe. And he's starting to bring up this whole other band. So basically, Chris was the first one from NSYNC.
Oh, crazy.
Isn't that crazy? Okay, so he was working at an Outback Steakhouse.
Of course.
Yep. And I forget how he got connected with Pearlman, but basically he called Justin Timberlake. Justin Timberlake knew JC from the Mickey Mouse Club.
Okay.
They ended up finding Joey, and then they also needed a fifth voice.
Okay.
And Justin Timberlake happened to know Lance, so Justin Timberlake kind of brought Lance in, and that was their fifth voice.
Mm-hmm.
So then they sign a record deal.
Okay.
Also with BMG.
Okay.
Okay. So there's a lot of things. There were several people interviewed who talked about just how kind of awkward this time was because everybody knew, except the two bands, everything that was going on. Okay. So how awkward is it if
that
you're
just
in
clicked
Germany?
In my head.
I'm like, and they really talk to this gal who was like the artist rep, and she seems like a pretty cool human, but she's like, oh my God, like, how am I going to
How did they keep it away from them?
I think that they knew there were other bands, but they didn't know there were two 5-person white guy bands competing with each other, and they don't really know what's happening.
That are almost the same.
Literally almost the same. Like literally the same vocal parts, just different music.
The two main guys have curly blonde hair.
Oh, it's ridiculous. I mean, it is a carbon copy.
And then two super blonde guys,
yep.
Blaine and Nick. Oh my goodness.
I know, right? So they're keeping it as hush-hush as they can. Backstreet Boys is in Germany. They're developing NSYNC on the down low. The Orlando scene is very small. And NSYNC, they're all living at Lou's house. Lou has this massive mansion, jet skis. They're flying first class, all of this stuff. They're not being paid.
Of course not.
They're being treated like celebrities already. They haven't produced a thing yet.
Okay.
And Lou has another one. You know how much I love a good one-liner. He goes, well, Procter & Gamble doesn't just have one soap.
Oh my gosh.
I know, but he's kind of a genius. The businesswoman in me is enjoying him, to be frank.
Honestly,
he's gonna ruin lives, I'm sure. There is an entrepreneurial bend to him.
Oh, absolutely.
It's kind of cool, to be honest.
Well, honestly, I'm sitting here and I'm like, I mean, the fact that none of them know about each other is that's the shadiest part, because you're just doing this for your own gain.
They're really young people, and he's the adult, and he's negotiating the contracts. That sucks.
Right.
I'm like, okay, if I was an evil genius and I didn't care about people, how do you create a deathmatch development school for therapists?
Right.
Just saying. Okay, so Backstreet Boys spends almost 2 years in Europe.
Okay.
They come back to the US and all of a sudden the doors are actually opening. They are so like tight, they're experienced, they're really great, and the music scene is in a better spot.
Okay.
So now Backstreet Boys comes back and they're the number one. And NSYNC talks about how, well, who are these freaking guys? Like they come back and every show NSYNC does, everybody's like, we thought it was going to be the Backstreet Boys. And it's the same freaking managers. So, Lou Pearlman is behind the scenes setting all of this up to develop them, right? I put that in air quotes, develop them. So then Disney, and this you might remember, I don't know exactly what year this is at this point, like mid 90s. Okay,
Yeah.
96, 97, something like that. Do you remember when Disney started doing specials that involved music?
Like, give me an example.
So, like, all of a sudden,
I was like always obsessed with music videos. Anytime there was something like that, I was.
well, you probably were getting into this because what happened, and this missed me. So I was just too old for this. And then my brother's 2.5 years younger, and this was big when he was
Okay.
when we were like going through school together. So Disney started like endorsing certain music acts and they would play their videos or play a performance of them or whatever. They would do these specials. Well, NSYNC did one of those specials. And objectively, it was pretty amazing. Like they showed clips of it, and like their singing and all of it is so good. All of a sudden, they're stepping out of the shadows, and now you have two blowing up boy bands, kind of at the same time. So Lou got exactly what he wanted.
Yes.
Right? Everybody's in, the investors are there, all of this is happening.
I feel like the thing with NSYNC and Backstreet Boys is obviously they're like so similar, but they're different enough. And it created a competition type of thing. Like, are you a Backstreet Boys fan or are you a NSYNC fan? You couldn't really be both.
And because people love to be in categories, it becomes this kind of person likes this and this kind of person likes this, and it's an us versus them. We love this game. We do this all the time, right? So in 1998, and remember, Backstreet Boys has been doing this longer than NSYNC, but they're both really hitting it around the same time. Like the gap from Backstreet Boys coming back to NSYNC and Backstreet Boys being big was pretty short.
Yeah.
NSYNC was only the underdog for a minute. They weren't the underdog for very long.
Okay.
Backstreet Boys put in a lot more work, in my humble opinion, starting sooner.
Yeah, they kind of paved the way.
They paved the way. Now, both of them were rehearsing in an airplane hangar.
Right.
In the dead of summer in Orlando.
Right, which is funny because one of Backstreet Boys' music videos is in an airplane hangar.
Oh, 100%. This was the whole thing.
Yeah.
And now I understand like the actual deeper meaning behind some of the songs and stuff too. So we'll get into that. Okay. So now the money is flowing. Things are starting to happen. In 1998, the Backstreet Boys have their gold record ceremony and they get their very first check.
Okay.
Guess how much that check was for?
And what year was this again?
1998.
How much the check was for? And it's for all of them?
They each got a check. So like each member looks at the check and they're like, oh, how much?
Let me guess.
Yeah.
60,000.
Oh, it's a pretty good guess. 10,000.
Oh, that's
10,000.
Oh.
Okay, so Chris tells the story. Okay. Chris is kind of funny. He's very much like, he's kind of great. He's like the dad of them, and I like him a lot. Okay, so he's like, oh my God, I've never seen this much money in my life. Like, he's so excited, right? So I think it was Brian, but one of them looked at him and goes, how much did you make in a year working at Outback? And he was like, oh shit, they're not paying me anything. I've been doing this for 5 years and I made $10,000.
Oh no.
Right. So a couple of the Backstreet Boys folks, Brian and JC in particular, were like, oh, hell no.
Right.
They're doing math and the math ain't mathing and they're matter by the minute, right?
Yeah.
So now the part of maybe Lou Pearlman's plan that he didn't anticipate starts to come to fruition.
Okay.
okay, where this starts to spread like wildfire.
Yeah.
We're being taken advantage of,
Yeah.
right? And the thing that is so interesting about this is all of the boy banders
Mm-hmm.
actually started to come together. So what this
Mm-hmm.
means is
Interesting.
in 1998, not long after that $10,000 check, which again was some of the first money they got, the Backstreet Boys sued Lou Pearlman.
Oh, dang, they got spicy.
They got real spicy, and Lou Pearlman was pocketing 43% of the profit. And Chris comes out and says, we felt like a puppet too.
Mm,
Felt like a puppet. Backstreet Boys got taken for a ride. We got taken for a ride. Um, Basically, the way he wrote the contracts is Lou made himself like the sixth member.
yeah.
So Lou got compensated kind of as an artist, but then also as a manager, and he was taking an awful lot of their money. And they say in the documentary, they're like, without him, we wouldn't have gone anywhere. So we did need that, but he really took advantage then on the back end, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Backstreet Boys and NSYNC come together. And there were some other people, I think, involved too, but the 10 of them
Okay.
came together and they bought him out. They
Dang.
basically bought him out of his contracts, and it was something like $64 million or something
Oh
like
my gosh.
that. Now, I don't think they brought that cash to the table. I think it was a bunch of contracting things about how he would be paid.
Yeah.
They bought him out. And he's immediately in a little bit of damage control. Like he's trying to take credit for all of their early success. Like,
Oh gosh.
they're so ungrateful. But
Mm-hmm.
how huge is it that these two competing bands actually came together to get away from this guy?
Right.
Right. And they kind of had to.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're not going to be successful without me, blah, blah, blah. Year 2000, Bye, Bye, Bye comes out in sync with what? Puppet strings. Remember?
Oh.
It was great.
Oh my gosh.
So Chris was like, we felt like puppets. There's your first massive hit. And they were out from under.
I am mind blown.
Isn't that amazing?
Because it like shows them all like dropping from the strings, breaking out of box, like little toy
Weren't they like
boxes.
toys in a box almost, kind of in the
Yes.
video? So what do you think about that? Talk to me about that.
Dang. Well, my mind is blown. Uh yeah.
Well, even a serious fan, you didn't know that, like where that music came from.
No, not at all. Yeah, I'm shocked. I'm surprised Backstreet Boys didn't have a song like that.
I know. No, NSYNC just came out all kinds of sassy.
They're like, let's go. Well, let's be real. JT is a sass.
I
He's
know.
hilarious, but he's a sass.
Why do you think I love him so much? We have this in common. He can be like the subtle shade, right? And then like a punch to the throat, right? This is the JT way.
I love
I
him.
could be that way a little bit too.
I know. I love him and Jimmy Fallon's friendship.
Oh my gosh, yes, absolutely. Now
They're so funny.
I am still mad at JT for the DUI. I've not gotten over that yet, just because the man had options.
I know.
And also some of the stuff with Britney Spears is a little problematic. I just saw that they're coming out with a biopic like movie about Winston and Britney.
Stop.
We're gonna have to watch that.
Oh yeah, we should live stream that of us just.
That is what we should do, actually.
Tearing it apart.
Okay, so Lou Pearlman was like, they're not going to be successful without me. Bye, bye, bye. Would beg to differ, right?
Right.
What a shady, amazing song now. Now I'm like, oh, I am on board with this song because now I know what it means.
Right. I love this.
Pretty sassy.
Yeah.
I mean, this is up there with Destiny's Child Survivor, right?
Yeah.
Because that's also, oh yeah. Thought I'd be broke without you, but I'm richer.
Was that because of the same dude?
No, that was because of their fourth member.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Whole thing. But this is what I was listening to.
I love Destiny's Child.
Oh my gosh, I love them so much.
I will be honest, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I think I do not like Beyonce's country song. Like, girl, sorry, I cannot with that song.
Well, I kind of get that. I think maybe she just went into something that may not be her number one thing. But I can admire her taking a shot. Look at Taylor Swift, man. The crossover is so intense. I wonder if Beyonce was like, I'm just going to be an epic crossover.
But you can't like, I feel like Taylor Swift started country and crossed over to
Pop.
pop. I think that's a different type of transition.
Instead of going from R&B to country.
Literally.
Yeah,
Like
no, I would agree.
you're just like, and country, I mean, I like country. I love country music. That was the concert I went to on Friday.
Oh, I know.
And the country music I like is because they are from the country.
Yeah, you can't really make that. But I will say she's from Houston.
She's not country.
Mm, I don't know. She's actually pretty country, but it is hard for people mentally to make that crossover.
Yes.
Also, country fan people, there's not as much overlap with than hip hop fans.
Correct.
Like rarely do people love both of those.
I mean, I love both, but
the country pop dynamic, that's a bigger Venn diagram overlap than the
yes.
hip hop country crowd.
Yes. I just think it's a smoother transition to go from country to pop.
Oh, for sure.
Anyway,
but if anybody can do it, it's Beyonce. Give her a little time.
I don't know, man. I'm
going to give her some time. She is a queen.
Okay.
We're going to give her a minute. Okay, so Lou's like eggs on my face. They actually are okay without me, but I still develop them. So
Yes.
Lou Pearlman goes, I'm going to create a talent competition show called Making the Band.
Oh my gosh.
I know, this is the original Making the Band. We've talked about Diddy. We're going to get into Diddy and his Making the Band nonsense, but
Yeah.
Lou Pearlman has genius idea for a show. I still remember the show. I did actually see the show a few times. It's all behind the scenes.
This guy's a whole vibe.
He's a whole vibe. He's like, I'll do it again. I'll just get a third band. I'm just going to do the whole thing. O-Town, they're like, they're signing contracts with their eyes closed because they're terrified. They know that Lou Pearlman can get you there, is your best option to get there, but that your contract's going to suck. Like now everybody knows.
Right.
People keep signing with him though, because he's still a straighter shot than anybody else. Okay, so O-Town comes out. I never got into their music, but I just remember the show was really like intense and stressful because it showed all the behind the scenes rehearsals, coaching that they would get, all of that kind of stuff. Okay, and I already shared all the other people that came through, kind of this Orlando, whatever. So one of the members of the band Natural, which was one of the last bands to go through this thing with him, said Lou could meet you, identify your dream, and then sell it back to you. Which is sales on some level. Like this guy has a business mind.
Right.
He was the only guy that could create a band in Orlando. I don't know that that's that special, but whatever. So basically, all these artists start being like, beggars can't be choosers. You go with Lou Pearlman. Lou Pearlman is in the studio, has his own studio, and is in the studio with Dr. Dre, Eminem, Britney Spears. I mean, all of these people, anybody who's anybody, knew Lou Pearlman.
Yes.
Right? And everything looks so good. If you're in the upper echelon, if you're O-Town now, right?
Right.
High life. If you're one of the entry level bands that is competing to move their way up, right? Like club baseball or something. You know what I mean? Like they have to move their way up. If you're in a lower bracket, you are working for free.
Right.
And they all laugh about like the child labor laws and stuff. Like they're not being paid anything. There's no restrictions. There's no boundaries. Like these people are working so hard. That money is getting funneled up to make the top people comfortable and happy. Maybe not making a lot of money, but we have planes. We have a house you can come live in. He was a genius because his assets are the things that attracted the talent. But meanwhile, he's still building his assets. Isn't that crazy? I mean, it's genius.
Yes.
It's a Ponzi scheme. It's genius. It's just also pure evil on some level too, right? Which is like common.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, it's not moral, but it's not illegal.
Exactly. So O-Town is overseas. There's a couple bans overseas. People were affected by 9/11. So jump to 9/11, 2001. All the planes are grounded. Guess what Lou Pearlman does?
What?
He calls up George W. He gets a private jet while all the other planes are grounded. And he takes his people, his bands, and himself back to Orlando, escorted by F-15 fighter jets.
Dang.
The day after 9/11. Literally, the only planes in the sky are fighter jets, Air Force One, and Pearlman. What kind of power do you have to pull that off?
Yeah.
Is that so? This guy doesn't play. And this is after he's already been divorced from Backstreet Boys and NSYNC.
That's insane. This guy's
Oh, isn't
a
he good?
fascinating guy, yeah.
He's fascinating. So we're going to stop there today, but I just want to know, what are you thinking? Because next time we're going to get into all the other backstory about Lou and his stuff and how things ended and whatever.
Well, that's like really what's
coming.
The crime part's coming. So this is all background of just kind of how he operates.
How he operates and the power and control kind of it all too.
Yes. It makes me think. I watched this show on, I can't remember if it was Hulu or Netflix. I watched this show and it was called like The Dark Side of the 90s. I think it was that show. Pretty sure. And I don't know. I've watched a few shows about the 90s, but one of them talks about the Nickelodeon guy who was really power and control-y. Anyway, there's just a lot of shisty people from the 90s is
what's more vulnerable than kids making the income? I think child stars, that's always been a problematic
Absolutely. Well, and you look at a lot of child stars from the 90s and most of them have gone through their struggle or are still in it or have died from it.
Yes.
Like Macaulay Culkin, he's good now, but he wasn't.
He was not.
Joaquin Phoenix's little brother, River Phoenix. He was a young singer, I think also an actor.
Oh, yeah.
And he died from his addiction, Aaron Carter. So you just look at all these individuals who've been through the ringer because of the dynamics, in my opinion, that were happening in the 90s for child stars. I mean, Amanda Bynes, can we talk about her for a second?
Oh, precious child. Amanda Bynes, I mean.
Saddest transition I have ever seen. What was that movie she was in with Channing Tatum? When she like pretends to be her twin brother.
I don't remember.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna look this up. That movie was one of my top movies.
She was in a couple of really cute. Wasn't she in like She's the Man or something like that? Like
that's
cute.
It.
She's the Man, that's the one.
Yes. So that movie, she's adorable and so funny, so sweet. And so we should actually probably do a whole, maybe a mini on her, but maybe a full episode on the guy that groomed her because he groomed a bunch of other people.
Same with Kesha.
Yes. And it just goes into this really sad story about Amanda Bynes and her career and how she started off so well and then it just plummeted.
Well, and when you think about protecting children, even all the stuff that went down, I've been thinking about this a lot this week with the gymnastics stuff, because Michaela Skinner, who was on one of the gymnastics teams, came out and basically said, besides Simone Biles, these chicks don't have the work ethic we had. Things are easier for them. They don't have the discipline. And, safe sport came in and now we can't work as hard as we used to.
Yeah.
Well, that made them all big mad. Like Simone Biles, I mean, has come for Michaela Skinner. Like, game over, whatever. But
Simone did? Like, what'd she say?
Ooh, she posted, literally, she won. The team won. She holds up her gold medal and she posts on social media just a couple of lazy blah 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 gymnasts. Like,
who said that?
Simone Biles. And then Simone Biles got blocked by Michaela Skinner, and Simone Biles posted, "Ooh, look who got blocked."
So wait, so Simone was saying that the other chick was a lazy person?
No. Michaela Skinner came out and said all of these gymnasts besides Simone Biles are not as tough as we were, not whatever. And Simone Biles can take that personal because
Well, even if it's not an attack on her, she's protective.
Suni Lee is a beast who came
A
back from
beast.
kidney disease.
Yeah.
Jordan Childs is an incredible human being who's
They're
come
all
so much.
amazing.
The Brazilian gymnast that got silver, I'm a gymnast nerd, right? The Brazilian, she grew up in like a shanty slum with her two brothers. And when they didn't have bus money, they would walk hours to take her to the gym to keep her safe and walk her to the gym. So I'm sorry,
Oh,
Michaela Skinner,
like F right off, Michaela.
Miss Utah up there. Like, I don't have any patience for you. So Simone Biles let her have it immediately,
Good.
won the team. And then when Michaela blocked her, Simone Biles came for, basically on her own social media was like, "Ooh, look who got blocked."
Wow. I love
It's
Simone Biles.
personal.
She is like, I think she is probably my favorite athlete right now,
Oh, she's incredible.
out
Her
of
goat
men and
necklace,
women.
even
Her
the
what?
fact that women can be good and can be proud of ourselves and
Yes.
be a little sassy, like you go. With
Yeah.
her goat, she's got the goat necklace.
Oh my gosh, I love. Yeah, you wear
Oh,
that goat necklace,
because
girl.
if a man did that, you look at the NFL players, okay? They're all about themselves. I don't have a problem with that. Some of them are amazing. My favorite is Jason Kelsey, but whatever.
Be
They
all
could
about
be.
you. Jason Kelsey is not all about himself.
No, I love him so much. I
That's why you like
really
him.
do. I love him so much. But you know what I mean? They're confident. They strut around. I've never seen a quarterback not be confident. That would be weird.
Absolutely.
Have to be confident. So you got somebody like Simone Biles, and she's a jerk if she's proud of herself and wears a goat necklace, like
Oh,
whatever. Anyway,
if I were Simone Biles, I'd wear a goat necklace.
are you kidding me? I'd have a goat clothing line. She probably already does. And
She
I would be
should.
absolutely.
I would buy a sweatshirt that says goat and Simone Biles. I would buy it.
And then we would make the Yetis and we would do all the things because that we are merch people as much as anything, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, we're stopping 9/11. I graduated in 2002, so this is like a nice little bookend.
Hey,
Here's where we are. Lou is still powerful, and so are these two
boy.
bands, boy
Hey,
bands. And then we will pick it up more next time.
beautiful.
Love it. All right. So, as always, bye, forensic friends.
We love you.
I'm Janine.
And I'm Nat.
And as always, thanks for listening and join us next week for more crime, psychology, and heart.